Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. You ever just stop and wonder if we're even living in a functioning society anymore? Sometimes I relax, I sit back, and I think to myself, we're living in the greatest, freest, most prosperous, and modern part of the world? Oh boy, it should be so impressive, right? But then you go to these supposedly impressive places run by Democrats, and sure, the canopy's impressive, the history, the grandness of these cities, the infrastructure, the landmarks, but there's always the foreground, and the foreground is not something to be proud of. What Democrats have done isn't looking like the greatest in the world, it's looking like societal collapse, and not just gradual decline, but a full-on collapse. It seems as though the laws don't matter anymore, the criminals run free, and the people who should be doing something, well, clearly they're too busy running this ridiculous woke grift, continuously going out and protecting these predators. The Democrat Party has dismantled every pillar of public safety, and we must continue to put the spotlight on this absolutely psychotic social experiment that Democrats have thrusted upon us. I know, when you put too much focus on the chaos in Democrat cities, people accuse you of being honest, of cherry picking, overemphasizing the bad and ignoring the good. Then of course comes the all sides argument. There's homeless people and crime everywhere, in Democrat and Republican cities. Yeah, but clearly not like this, not on this level. What the Democrats are doing deserves the sunlight, because sunlight is the best disinfectant, and frankly, Democrat leadership at this point has become a scourge. Let's go ahead and continue to emphasize that. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so let's go right back to Portland, of course, the usual epicenter of left-wing woke disaster. Well, remember 2 weeks ago we were covering that absolute Antifa freak show outside of the downtown Portland ICE facility, and well, initially it looked like the city wasn't going to do anything, then a very pissed off resident just came outside and started yelling at people.
Turn it down! We the people need sleep! We're worse than ICE! You heard what I said!
And all of a sudden it went mega viral, especially all the clips of these Antifa losers literally firebombing these facilities. And so the situation, what was happening, went viral, and now all of a sudden Democrat leaders sprung into action. They shut down the Antifa HQ, shut down the encampment, or at least they pretended they did for the headlines. And now, well, what's it been? Less than a week later, and look at this.
Katie brought her privilege armor for us. Now
Hey, get me. You got some little weak ass mace. This shoots further than yours, bitch. Shoots further than yours. Get your weak ass mace, bitch.
Oh well, would you look at that? They only cleared it out for the cameras, just like Gavin Newsom when he cleared out the streets of San Francisco when Xi Jinping wasn't down, only to let the squalor move back in literally the next day. Less than a week later, the same mob, the same garbage-filled camp, the same unhinged extremists wielding weapons on the streets, really once again showing us this shining beacon of Democrat leadership and moral superiority. Holy frickin' moly, it's unbelievable. But again, I keep pointing out this is the environment that the left has built. Lawless, entitled, total anarchy. It reminds me of this video from not so long ago.
come at me with an axe. Why you coming with an axe at me? Why are you coming with an axe? Why you come at me with an axe?
That was from Seattle in 2023. Just casually dodging axe-wielding maniacs on the streets in your typical Democrat city. It's just become the norm. These people get arrested, maybe they get booked, and then released the same day. No charges, no accountability, just rinse and repeat. The revolving door of the justice system, as I've been calling it, or the left-wing justice system. And if you think about it, if there's no consequences, then why not come back and just set up the Antifa encampment again? Why not just head right right back to the same street wielding an axe, why not do it because you can? The system's not going to punish you. It's completely broken. It's been hijacked by George Soros. And now, like I said, it's just a woke revolving door that puts these criminals right back on the streets over and over again. And if it's not the criminals, it's the insane people who obviously cannot participate in civilized society. But instead of acknowledging this fact, instead of accepting the fact this is just the unfortunate reality for some individuals in society, no, the left response is lollipops and puppies and rainbows, the most extreme levels of naivete, just put them back on the streets. Nothing a little bit of compassion can't fix, right? Yeah, well, sometimes compassion is not enough. And I mean, speaking of misguided compassion, you want to see the worst of it? Well, look at this story breaking out of Colorado. We've got a registered sex offender, an individual by the name of Solomon Galligan, who was recently caught on video trying to kidnap an 11-year-old boy right off an elementary school playground in broad daylight. And well, he was initially grabbed, arrested, and of course, where do you think I'm going with this? Subsequently hit with 0 charges and released back on the streets. From what I understand, prosecutors are dropping the case because he was found to be incompetent to stand trial. So the response is put him back on the streets. Clearly he's not incompetent to exist in society, but according to Democrats, you're probably a bigot or a racist for saying that. A man with a criminal record who just stalked and attempted to abduct a child in broad daylight is now considered safe to be on the streets because he's apparently too mentally unfit to face justice. So instead of being institutionalized, he's set loose. It's insane. It is completely insane. And honestly, at this point, it's not just negligent, it's not just dumb and naive, it's becoming malicious. You know, these people will throw the book at a J6 protester for simply walking inside a roped-off area, but an insane person living on the streets who tries to kidnap children? Oh, well, he's just misunderstood. Let's give him a second chance. Well, it's the exact same psychotic logic that lets these Portland agitators take over public streets, threaten officers, vandalize federal buildings, and face no real freaking consequences. Because again, these are not anarchists, they're not rioters, they're not terrorists, they're not criminals, no, they're just misunderstood revolutionaries and peaceful protesters. It's just total collapse. And this right here, this is the America that Democrats are creating. Violent, unstable, and ruled by ideological madness. America's greatest cities are now overrun with crime. The courts refuse to prosecute, and the streets are owned and controlled by unhinged mobs who know the system is broken and will essentially bend to their will. This is abject failure. This is failure on any level, and it seems to be failure by design. And the question I have to be asking myself is, why do people accept this? I mean, if you still live in one of these places, what is it that makes you think that this is okay, that it's for the greater good, that you're somehow a better person for voting for this stuff? Because it seems just like poor management, just to score a couple brownie points. It seems like the deliberate dismantling of civil society, just so one politician can appear woke and down with the trends. It's utterly stupid, and I don't think I'm ever gonna get it. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.